Welcome in to the other. Welcome into the other room. I'm Tim. That's Austin. Austin, let's get into it, man. Tell me about your life this week. Give me an update.
Dude, this has been like the week from hell. It's been awful. Like today, our furnace went out, and luckily it went out before like 5 o'clock. So when I called the HVAC guys, they didn't charge me the extra rate. But it was like 62 degrees in our house. It's like, what's
Real
going on?
Japanese, yeah.
Yeah, it's getting real Japanese up in here. But we weren't ready to sleep, so it needed to be a little warmer. So I called them.
Jeez.
They came out. It's like a $700 replacement part. And they're like, yeah, it's also $200 of labor to fix it. I'm like, I'll just figure this out. There's nothing YouTube can't teach me. He's like, are you sure? Yeah, I'll fix it.
Yeah,
That
this just
sucked.
sounds like a Northern Montana problem. That $700 upcharge, just middle of
Yeah.
nowhere.
Well, we're rural. They got to send it all the way up here. So shipping is
that's-
$700. The part is free. I'm like,
Did you search Alibaba before consulting the?
yeah, I
the
I definitely want carbon monoxide poisoning. It sounds like a really good way to get carbon monoxide poisoning.
Right. I'm under the impression it's not that bad, but it's.
I'm sure they have quality stuff every
When's
here
the
and
last time you heard someone died from carbon monoxide poisoning? That's my question.
there. Moving on. And then
What
this
else?
week
What
was
else is
kinda
going
tough.
on? What else is going on?
This kind of was kind of tough too. Kid's sick. He's been throwing up a couple times a day. Youngest one is sleeping better, but he's still not sleeping. Brand new newborn. You know how it goes.
Yeah.
And then there's a guy that this week, a guy that I've kind of looked up to for a long time. I've known him for several years, and I just found out he's made a series of really, really unfortunate, poor decisions. And I won't go into specifics, but he's kind of a letdown.
Changed your view, like on how you look at him.
Yeah, like I don't really kind of view him in a positive light anymore. Like I want to avoid him whenever I'm around him, kind of thing. So
Can't view him that way. Don't view him that way.
no, I just don't view him in a positive light anymore.
Oh, jeez, that's too bad.
Like something like the things that I hear about these have been things that I have just found out here a few days ago, but these have been going on for like 5-6 years. And someone finally came forward and said, hey, this is happening, that's going on, blah, blah, blah. Found out about it. It's kind of devastating. But other than that, I don't know, man. Business is doing okay.
This is like finding out your favorite teacher in school is like, unfortunately, they were cheating on their wife the whole time you know them. You're like, I loved that guy.
Brother, it's
hate
worse.
that guy.
It's worse. It's worse than that.
Hey, it's my only example. I can think I can't even imagine now. I don't want to know. It sounds like I could get in trouble knowing. So I'll say it away.
This is something like definitely, we'll respect his privacy kind of thing. And that's his deal. And he's going to stop doing this stuff. It's not really hurting anyone, but it's just.
Hopefully that's written in blood. It sounds like this is
it better be
quite serious. My God.
We have the receipts in case it does get legal. Anyway. Apart from that, yeah, it's been a rough week. I'm tired. There's the main thing. Other than that, we out here, we surviving, grinding.
Well, I mean, in both of us having kids, we kind of relate to each other that way. I mean, my son, like you were mentioning the other day, like anyone you talk to, like, oh, is it the old 16-month sleep regression? Oh, is it the old 17-month sleep regression? Like you just never know. I feel like
the old 3-week, 4-day, and 20-minute sleep regression. They're like, how many of these are there?
Seriously, like I was riding too high, I feel like, because my son was sleeping the other night, and now it's like, oh, will I get 3 hours of sleep? My Apple Watch is sending me like, I don't know if you do this with your Apple Watch, but it shares health data with like my wife, and it'll be like, there's been a concerning trend in your husband's health habits, like, and she's like, is everything all right? And I'm like, I don't see the light at the end of the tunnel.
We're noticing Widowmaker like heart arrhythmia right now.
It's not good. I actually think it makes it more of a big deal than it is, but yeah, dude, that lack of sleep, it's killing you, man. It's terrible. But I was gonna bring up to you, we hadn't talked about this yet. So I was applying for this promotion at work. This is part of like how my week was going. I was applying for this promotion at work, and I've got a lot of experience in cardiology, and I was hoping to get it. And my manager left. He's from Montana. I'm from Montana. I was like, the boys are going to stick up for the boys. He's going to put in a glowing rec. I had an interview with our clinical director. I was like, oh, let's do it. And I thought it went incredible. And then I just didn't get it. I was rocked, man. I feel like.
Do you know who got the job? You know who got the job?
Yeah. So another girl on our team. And so I work for the company I work for, as you know, is kind of like a startup company. We're kind of progressing in like a big way. She's been there maybe probably 6 months prior to me. I've only worked there for a couple of months now after leaving my last hospital. And it's in terms of like familiarity, it's like someone's been there 5 months, someone's been there 10 months.
Yeah.
I feel like we should be weighed equally. We've got similar clinical experience. I feel like I got hit by the age tax, being
Yeah.
in my 20s and
Yeah.
she's 40, give or take.
Yeah.
I think she's
On death's
late.
door.
Is early 40. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Pushing
retirement
60.
home. Yeah.
Yeah.
It could be anything. We call her grandma, but yeah, it's just, I was a little shocked, like clinical experience, but you know what? Like, you just kind of got to take it on the chin. I feel like nowadays I don't know what it was. Is it post COVID? You just don't expect good luck anymore.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is, but
like in corporate America, like any job, anywhere, I just feel like everything's changed. But post COVID, everything's just so wildly different. Hey, for better or for worse, I think a lot of it's for worse. Usually, like especially like
you
in
just
my
see a bunch of
profession.
people like, is that 12 years experience? Like, I don't have it. And they're like,
and really, those 12 years experience, like several of can't were COVID, and I feel like they shouldn't count.
Yeah, who knows? It's hard with healthcare. I feel like it was a good experience. I don't know, but
no, you're right. Yeah, healthcare. That is a good caveat. I guess healthcare in certain, there are a lot of other places. Like like I have 5 years experience. Well, 3 years of those were in COVID, and you were at home for those 3 years. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
Is that that does kind of suck? It to me kind of would make sense to hire someone younger. Like if we're gonna have somebody in this position longer, then we only have to train someone once, and he's going to give us way more time. I don't know.
It makes me
think,
a
reason I don't work in corporate America.
Is there a Gen Z tax? Like, I don't feel like I like give very Gen Z, and who knows? And I don't know what the higher ups think about me, but like, I don't feel like I'm like, hey guys, no cap. We're all, like I'm trying to be very, I'm not very, I try to be very professional. I'm not like super Gen Z. And I wonder if there's like, they see the age and they're like, punk, like clearly not motivated just based on, age group.
Yeah. And there is a little bit of truth to that. I was talking to an insurance vendor that used to work with us here at the funeral home. And I asked him what the job market's like looking for insurance. They just said, it's pretty good. We got to talking, and he told me explicitly he will not hire Gen Z. Like, that's what I said. So if you had 10 applicants and they're all Gen Z, you would just keep looking until you found someone who wasn't. He said, exactly. I'm just not here to handhold. I'm not here to do any of that, which seems like open discrimination to me.
Yeah.
We're going to edit that out. We'll edit that one out. It's like students like, well, they have 20 years experience and then they work over you and they come to you like, Tim, what's an email? And you're like, oh, my gosh.
I've never heard of this. Chat TBG? What is this? I'm like, no.
Chat TB? No. That's tuberculosis, actually.
Yeah, you're clapped, but yeah, no, it's fine. I mean, that was probably the biggest thing of my week. I mean, my wife being pregnant right now, she's the one really suffering with that. So I'm trying not to complain too much in general that way. But we're both on that like 3 to 6 hours of sleep max, prayer in the morning, all day on the run. So
yeah. Is she getting like a lot of like morning sickness and stuff yet?
Man, I feel like this summer has been so much worse. So I don't know.
So you think it'll be a girl, maybe?
So different. I don't know the old wives' tales. I'm not as familiar. At the hospital, you'd hear, "Well, how low's that belly hanging? It could be a boy." And I'm like, I just don't know how often these people were accurate.
Yeah, it's funny because like when Theo was born, so Atticus is a boy, and then Theo's another boy, but everyone was so convinced, like they had a knowledge that it was going to be a girl. They're like, oh, Molly's hanging so low, and oh man, she's so different this time. Like she's getting so much more sick on this one, and the heartburn. So yeah, it's another boy, and everyone was just like shocked. I'm like, I guess every pregnancy is just different. I guess that's something we'll never understand. I could just stand there and be like, sorry, that sucks, but do you want to go to Chick-fil-A?
Yeah. I'm getting a bad vibe. Big vibes guy these days. Like it's just,
and the vibe you're bringing to the table is not something I want to be a part
getting
of.
A boy vibe is a bad day. It's I don't know. It's interesting when it comes to the pregnancy and whatnot. I mean, you're a step ahead of me. You've been through 2. I've been through 1.
We're in the trenches.
1.1, 1.4. So yeah, we're struggling that way. But yeah, you said you had a fact you wanted, or like a story you wanted to talk to me about this week. Hit me with it, man.
Dude, so I love this fact that I learned about in history. A big history buff.
Hit me.
About this pig called Tirpitz the pig.
I'm nervous. Tirpitz, where are we? Where are we? Eastern Europe suddenly?
No, we are, yeah. So
yeah.
I was just like reading, just like on TikTok and stuff, and somebody was talking about this and decided to read up a little bit more. So there was this pig. So I guess World War I, this is 1914. I think it's in the middle of World War I. Germany and England fight against each other. And at the time, it was uncommon to keep animals on board your ship because, it's a fresh source of meat, so you can kind of give them feed.
Uncommon, you said, or common?
It was not uncommon, so it's pretty common.
Not uncommon. Okay.
So they would keep the like pigs on board in case they needed to slaughter the pigs, and like, hey, we have something to eat while we're at sea. So the ship, it was the HMS Glasgow for the British Royal Navy, came in.
And HMS, what?
Her Majesty's Service, of course.
I was leading it.
We're gonna edit that one out. We'll edit that one out. So the HMS Glasgow sunk this, I forget the name of the vessel, but it's this German vessel, and they kind of hung out for a while. Some petty officer was looking over the starboard side, and he saw this pig swimming along. It had been tread water for like an hour, so they jump in and they save the pig, and it became the official mascot of the ship. and for its bravery, they awarded the pig an Iron Cross. So it got like a military accolade, which is funny. So the joke there is,
how high is the Iron Cross?
So like, they say that the Iron Cross in the German military, I did a little bit of reading, I'm not sure, and maybe someone will rebuke us in the comments saying you guys are idiots, you're just yapping.
Yeah,
and whatever. People always say it's kind of akin to the Medal of Honor or like a Silver Star.
It's like the highest thing you can earn?
It's like the highest thing you can earn. From my prelim, my 10 minutes of research was like, Iron Cross.
It sounds important.
Yeah, no, it's important. It's an important accolade. But they gave it to the pig as a joke because the English gave it to this pig, but it's a German award. Anyway, so this pig was the mascot of the ship for a year. And then afterwards, he went and he lived with the petty officer that found him at a gunnery school. And then he was auctioned off for charity and then slaughtered.
Oh, no! Oh, no! You're telling me they put down
Turpitz,
an award winner. Turpitz, yes.
Turpitz,
the war hero. They put down an award winner of the highest honor in the. Well, I'm a little confused. The English gave him a German medal.
Yeah, so it's like a joke. They're like, Admiral Turpitz, welcome aboard. So they gave him the Iron Cross, like
Grand Admiral Turpitz.
Yeah. And so, like, they gave him the Iron Cross as a joke because it's a German award. So they gave him like a fake Iron Cross. It was just funny. So he was like the mascot of this part of the English Navy for a good while.
What a brutal end to Turpit's life. He's riding high as an award winner and then just is auctioned for slaughter. Wow, that's horrific. Speaking of sea, I saved a post today that I was going to talk to you about. I want to bring up, and I wanted to ask you your thoughts on it. I'll get into a little bit more. So anyway, in 2012, they had this guy. He was a Salvadorian fisherman. His name was he was a Salvadorian fisherman. Funny enough, named Jose Salvador Alvarenga. You might be able to say that better than I can, But
probably. Yeah.
Anyway, he's on a fishing trip. He's like, we're gonna be gone for 2 days. He's with a 22-year-old as his crewmate, and they get caught in like this horrific storm and dragged like way out in the Pacific Ocean, and their motor fails. They're so far away from the coast now. They're stranded. So to survive, they're like eating turtles. They're killing fish. They're drinking the blood of birds to like survive. But 10 days in, the 22-year-old dies. And so my boy Jose Salvador, the hero of Salvador, he throws the guy off the ship and is like,
That just seems like wasted calories in that situation.
Listen, they were getting fish, they're getting turtles, so he gets him off the ship, and he's totally alone, and he's stranded there. I want you to take a guess how long this guy lasted. So that guy died within 10 days. How long do you think my boy Jose Salvador lasted after that?
On essentially like bird blood and turtles, raw
turtles that he was like, they were catching them somehow. I didn't really say, but they're catching fish, catching turtles. I mean, they're on I guess, listen to me, they're on a fishing boat. They've got
some
they've
type
got to
have
fishing
some,
minimum a net, I'm guessing.
Yeah,
so they're doing something, and so that's what he's surviving on though out there. How long do you think he survived out there?
Well, the way you're phrasing this question makes me want to say some outrageous number like 20 years. But I'm not going to say 20 years.
Well,
no. Chill.
Brother, 2012. So
a month, 30 days.
438 days this guy was out at sea, and then he was found in like this island, like it was like 6,700 miles away from Mexico, and just was discovered, and he was on there, and they said he was like hallucinating the most grandiose things while he was just like flagging down ships on this random island. He was ignored for so long. And then eventually they brought him back into Mexico and he was like, you guys don't understand how long I've been waiting for you to rescue me. And he's been on this, and they're like, that can't be true. But he was in such horrific conditions. They were like, I mean, obviously something happened to the guy. Like,
so like, are there pictures of this boat? Like, are there any pictures? In 2012,
dude,
there's got to be like pictures of this.
They have pictures of the guy afterwards, which was like the highlight of the article. Look the guy up, Jose Salvador Alvarenga.
That came up right up top. So,
dude,
very clearly didn't have a way to shave.
Well, I mean, yeah, he's just. I don't think that's like a high priority after out at sea, but yeah, dude, he drifted so far away from Salvador. Boy,
uncovered, by the way.
Yeah, dude, ended up in Mexico. I mean, almost 7,000 miles from Mexico, but that's where they brought him back to when they discovered him. And I don't know what kind of boat discovered him. I imagine maybe like a cruise ship or like a freighter, like was just kind of coasted by and happened to notice him. But I can't even. I mean, over a year at sea. So I'm going to ask you. How long do you last? Your boat, you're on a fishing trip. It's you and, like, let's say, I mean, I guess I'm the guy that dies in this situation, but it's you and me.
Yeah, and you would be the guy who dies.
Yeah, I guess. The Sierra and I don't agree. But 10 days in, gone. It's me. I'm out. I'm reaching for life. You throw me off. I was your Wilson. You threw me off the boat. How long do you realistically think you hold out? Following you, and you've already been gone. I mean, you were supposed to be gone 2 days, so this is 10 days. We're hitting almost 2 weeks at this point. You're out there. You've been drinking the blood of birds, cracking turtle shells, which is, I mean, the worst thing I can think of. But
we're just like the texture just sounds horrible. I just can't imagine the texture. How long would I last? Like, I think realistically, I'm option 3 after like maybe 10 days. Like, you die. 10 days later, I'm like, it's been 20 days. There's no one's. I feel like the most extraordinary part of that story to me is the fact that he found the will to go on for hundreds of days. That's insane.
Well, like, we're talking like day 12. So, like, they were supposed to be gone for 2 days, and then, like, however long after the other guy dies, and then he's like, I guess I'll just last another year out here by myself and just go on. Yeah, dude, just crazy. I'll tell you, if the roles are reversed and you were the one that died and I was on the boat, I think I'd just jump immediately after you passed. I'd be like, you know what?
That's what I'm saying, dude. Like,
I think I'd just be like, we had a ride. Like, we were in this together. I won't lie, I'm a little upset you died. You gave up. I'm pretty upset. And then I'm like, what if I just left the boat too? And I pushed you off and I'm like, oops.
Nobody's stopping you. Exactly. Nothing's stopping you, dude. That's crazy. Like, that would have to be at the forefront of your mind. I think if you could get over like the 6-month hump, you'd be like, I could do this forever. We're fine.
That's true. I wonder what the visions were telling him too. They said he was so horrifically hallucinating. I imagine he was seeing, I can't even imagine.
Angels.
The genie from Aladdin just telling him what to do. Like
the toad with the cane and the top hat just dancing on his fishing hole, probably. Like, all kinds of stuff.
Jiminy L. Cricket? Who are you referring to right now?
There's got to be a name for that. I'm looking this up. Hang on.
The toad? Where are we? Princess and the Frog? I don't know what you're referring to.
What is the name of the frog with the top hat and the cane?
Is this Kermit's younger brother, Hermit?
With the top hat. What is that? Just take a guess at what it is.
What? This is ridiculous.
It's a Michigan J Frog.
Michigan? The state?
Like the state, yeah.
I was about to guess just like F.frog or something like that. Was going to be my official guess.
And you would have been super close. I mean, Michigan is out there, but like you could have said James J. Frog, and that would have been uber close.
Yeah, I'd have been in the ballpark. Wow, what a... I don't even know what you're referencing right now. What is this from?
It's like the hello, my baby, hello, my honey. Hello, my ragtime.
Yeah, and a real Tom and Jerry type beat.
It's older. How old is Michigan? I closed the page. I'm not looking to back up. But it's back in the day.
This is a dated reference. You're seeming older by the day.
I am like 16 minutes older than you, so you're not far behind. How's your back feeling?
Moving on.
Brother, so I got a hypothetical for you.
Hit me.
I saw something similar to this on on X. It was a different question, but I thought of it this way. So theoretically, you become a wizard, and you're granted wizard powers, but you're only allowed to have spells that minorly inconvenience others. What spells are you taking?
Okay. I mean, first, and this came to mind quick. I think it's happened to me a couple of times this week, which is why
Oh boy.
I would cast this just on probably like every third person, just because I'm a little jaded. It happened to me so much this week.
It's been a bad day. Yeah.
Every time you wash your hands, and I don't care if you're wearing a short sleeve shirt or a long sleeve shirt, the water finds its way just under the sleeve. Just so, like, if you're wearing a short sleeve, it just and then just gets up a little bit under your sleeve. That would be because that's just and that's minor in my opinion. It feels major at the moment. You're like, but like, yeah, I feel like that would be my first one, and I'd be liberal with it generally. I would just Wingardium Leviosa.
F you. You're cool. F you.
Yeah, dude. That's one of one. I feel like if I'm taking inconveniences like off the top of my head. Did you have one prepped for this that you thought of? That's
so I did think of one. I cast a spell on people that makes the plate in their microwave disappear.
Yeah, that's horrific. I won't lie though. Like in college, I was getting a little like Neanderthal on it, and I would just put my plate in there. Sometimes the microwave plate, like one of my college roommates was like an incredible cleaner. Sometimes that microwave plate would be gone and be like, I just can't be bothered. I won't lie, and I would just put it in there, and it would just spin so unevenly. The food is different temperatures.
You put the plate directly on the rollers.
Oh yeah, and I was just praying that it would evenly rotate, and it would be like gaga gaga gaga, and then like it would just stop. And I don't know how I felt. In my mind, a microwave just heats like in like a grid, everything. No, dude, it has to spin for a reason, apparently.
Well, yeah, I mean, like, there have been times when I've been without a plate because friends have done it to me. I personally know the pain that is brought along with this, and it does. Mine didn't actually spin the plate at all, and it would be like microwave for like 20 seconds, then you manually rotate it, and then there it is.
Yeah, what a first world problem that sucks so much.
They got microwaves in Argentina too, man. They got microwaves all the way down.
I'd be a problem one. If I was to pick like a second, as we've been talking, that I was thinking of it, would be that every time you go to the bathroom, you only get 3 square toilet paper. Like it's just that's no matter no matter what, it's just 3 square. So you're either rationing a square per wipe, or you're like, what are the odds? I'm ready for this 3 square immediately. Like and I mean, I can't even imagine this happening to me, and I feel like this hasn't happened to me in years. The horror if you jagged rip it, and it rips through 1.5 squares. I don't think I would. I think I'd just walk out. I just get to my home as soon as I could and shower.
Yeah, I'm sure.
It's shame.
Anyone you'd put that on would have to buy a bidet, that's for sure. Like, my thing is like, my fear is like, let's say you've been eating a heavy diet of high fiber, say high soluble fibers.
Yeah.
You're like, okay, I only have 3 squares. I'm going to ration. First wipe, slick, just mudslide. You're like, oh gosh, dang. We're not getting
now
through
you're
this.
Sweaty and you're nervous. You've got 2 square left. Not only that, you better be buying the highest quality ply.
You got
you can
6
because
plied.
A 1 square finger rip through. Oh
no, you're toast. You're toast.
And this is every time. And I'm doing this I'm on a park bench just badoop.
I'm having a bad day. I'm
three square.
We're doing it on the entirety of Jackson County, Mississippi. We're doing it on the entire. It's like
they've suffered enough. Leave them alone, Mike. Gosh.
That would be that's a tough one, man. That'd be tough.
Man, that's probably my number 2 contender. One of those 2 I'd pick. I'm leading my second after I thought about it for a little bit. Did you have any more prepped that you'd thought of that were?
No, because I kind of made this question just for you to answer. But I think like most inconvenient thing, like catch someone like right about when someone's barely about to fall asleep, they get like an itch on their face that they have to scratch. Like, no, and they just can't
because I don't know if that's inconvenient or if that's just like torture. I think that's like
we're bordering
much worse. Yeah, you're bordering on like. I think we might be developing a psychopath. Like the third night that happens to me, I'm like, Oh,
You're like taking sandpaper.
Yeah, I think I'd get the itch to commit violent crimes. Is what it would happen to me.
The sleep deprivation paired with the constant itching would be the worst. And like, if you're awake and alert, no itch. Itch goes away. Just like right when you're about to go. And like, if you can, here's the caveat, I guess. If you can ignore it for long enough, you do fall asleep, but you got to really concentrate on it. Like, oh.
I feel like I just thought of one more good one, is that every time you bend down to pick something up, it always takes you 2 attempts to grab it. You know how you sometimes you reach down and you miss it, you're like, frick! And then you go to get it again and you're a little bit more upset.
Yeah.
But it's every time now. So anytime you were going to grab something, you're like, oh, I swear I had it. And then you just can't. Like, I feel like that's maybe is bordering on torture as well. But that is...
I will say, if I see that happen to someone in public, I do think less of them. Like, I'm like, you can't even control yourself.
When
man.
you pump fake a napkin on the ground and you look like you're bombing because you missed
not going anywhere, man. He's going to be there when you get back. That's crazy.
That crushes me. This is this was an incredible question. Okay, I'm gonna take a couple minutes here. I'm gonna go into my sports corner, my time to vent here. Right. As you know, someone who doesn't care about as much about sports as I do,
at all.
This is going to be, I catered this towards you a little bit this week. So in college basketball right now, there's a little bit of a controversy. And as a impartial third party here, I want to hear your opinion on this. So there's a team that in their regular season, they went 31-0. You might think to yourself, it's pretty good. Impressive. Sounds impressive. Like they're pretty good. Yeah. Now, they play in a conference called the MAC. You might think, McDonald's? No, it's actually just a random conference.
Listen, I'm not that stupid. I know what my conference is.
My bad. I was gauging sports fandom. No, but so they play this MAC, which is like not very well respected in terms of like competition and such. And then they go in as not even the favorites to win their own conference tournament. Another team in their division was favored over them. Akron.
Sure.
Everyone's like, wow, they're 31-0. They're really good. They have to include them. Their chances to make the tournament were like a coin flip, like just right around 50%.
Sure.
Well, the first round of their tournament, they lose. So now they're 31-1, and it's single elimination. So it's just over. So, but this is the conference tournaments before the actual March Madness, which I've got a question on in a second. But 31-1, non-conference champ, as a non-biased fan, with just a record like that, do you feel like they should be rewarded anyway? Do you feel like conferences should matter?
I mean, like, it's impressive that they're able to do so well in their own league, but like, they lost. They did single elimination. They lost, and that sucks. That their kind of, I guess, reign came to an end like that. But it happens, you know.
Let me give you a preface. So anybody, if you win your conference tournament, you actually get an auto bid. So you could be like 0-30, and I believe everyone makes a conference tournament. And if you just got hot at the right time and won like the 7 games needed to win, and you were 7-30, you would automatically make the NCAA tournament, like the March Madness bracket, just for.
But has that happened before?
You know what? As someone who cares less about college basketball, I do not know. But there are teams that'll enter the tournament and they'll be like 19-14, and they'll be in there. Like I see this all the time. Like when I'm making my March Madness bracket. Which do you do March Madness? Are you into it?
I feel like you have to do a bracket. You know,
yeah.
Like
it seems like part of the citizenship agreement. I agree.
I agree. Like you got to watch the Super Bowl. You got to do a March Madness bracket, especially because like I really just feel like with how many brackets are just after the first round or two are like there's only like 0.5% of brackets that are still correct. I feel like really at this point you could just guess, and I'm like, maybe I'll get lucky. Maybe I'll win a perfect bracket. It's kind of fun to watch. I've never made it out of the first round. There's no way.
I've never had a
perfect first round.
I've had one time had a perfect first round, and 2 years ago I went whatever the thing is, but I missed one game. Those South Dakota State Jackrabbits, man, they betrayed me. I had them deep in the tournament, but you're just guessing. I mean, it's ridiculous.
Like, from someone from Montana, I feel like I can say this. Like, who cares about South Dakota? You know, like it's it's the middle of nowhere.
37-2. They were incredible.
That's awesome. Good for them. Seriously, like I guess who cares wouldn't be a good way to put it. And to be like, you just kind of write off the guys up north.
Yeah,
like
the people of Pierre care, Austin, please.
Okay. Sorry.
I don't even know where the college is at, so that could be entirely incorrect. So I'm not.
If you live in Sioux Falls, South Dakota, sorry, I apologize. I love Mount Rushmore. That's great.
Well, I'm glad you're at least going to do March Madness. As someone who loves it a lot, like I think it's a really fun time of year. It brings together, I feel like, a lot of people who normally would never interact. Like your mom of 6 who happens to be your coworker at work's like doing pretty well in the bracket this year. And you're like,
and she's usually
Stacy, really?
Stacy is like doing better than everybody else, and she just picked the bracket based off of which has the cutest mascot.
Yeah, like, or just like big vibe. She's like, I was going with a blue theme this year. You're like, really? And it just is, she's cooking through the tournament, you know? Like
she makes it to like the Final Four, just a perfect bracket. Like, how is this possible?
They showed, this was when I was in like high school, but I think I vaguely remember they said like a high school English teacher forced everyone in his class to do brackets, and a girl did this very thing. Like this girl who never wasn't a basketball fan or whatever, just like based on, it was either like jerseys or mascots, one of the two. Just picked it all, and she picked every game right until the Final Four.
That's
just
insane.
on pure vibes, but it was just a handwritten bracket, so it didn't count for anything anywhere.
No,
like she just wrote it out, was like, there you go. Like, yeah, it's crazy how close some people get in general. It's a nuts time of year.
Let's see, I'm going to Google this real quick. How many perfect March Madness brackets have there been?
Never.
So there's been 0. But you want to know what the odds are to pick a perfect March Madness bracket?
It must be like I'm gonna guess like 12 zeros and a 1.
Yeah, close. So it is 1 in 9.2 times 10 to the 18th power, or 1 in 9.2 quintillion odds. Yeah. So dude, I think that's why, because
it's just so many variables. Like it's so rough.
Like I know for a while, I remember this vaguely. Like Warren Buffett's like, if anybody gets a perfect bracket in March Madness, you get it. What is it, $1 million? Does he still do that?
Or $1 billion? I don't know. I remember this promise though, where he was like, or he said something like, "You can come work at my firm. You clearly know what's up." Like I remember Warren Buffett making a promise at one point about March Madness that was like, it was too enticing not to just throw your hat in the ring, you know.
Let's see. Warren Buffett hosts an annual March Madness bracket contest for Berkshire Hathaway. Employees that, as of 2025, offers a $1 million prize for correctly picking 30 of the first 32 games. So it looks like you can get down to, so 30 you can get down to.
Wow. So 2 years ago, if I was a Berkshire Hathaway employee, which must be, that's a high barrier to entry, it sounds like.
I'm sure. Like, could you just pay me an only stock, please?
Yeah, I would have been a millionaire. Dang, man. That's crazy. But I also agree with you. I vaguely remember him offering like a open invitation. Like, if you get it right, like you're in business.
Yeah. So right here it says that there was $1 billion prize for a perfect bracket in 2014.
Yeah, and maybe that's what I remembered.
And only recently, as of 2025, did he say 30 of 32 games. It used to be, I used to have a perfect bracket, but now it's only 30 games. Only. It's still ridiculous odds.
I feel like people hit that though, like, you know, in general. Like a lot of people make it out of the first round. Like I say a lot of people would be like 30 million brackets submitted. 26,000 people had a perfect first round. You're like, shout out the boys that got it all right, you know, like.
Yeah, because that's going to be the hardest round to make it out. It was the first one round because there's so many games.
Yeah, I mean, there's just so many games, and then also you have like as the bracket breaks down, you get like, and everyone always like talks about like the 7-10 and the 8-9 matchup. You're talking about teams that they were like, essentially these guys are on even footing and we have to match them up against each other. Because the 116, I think they've lost like 1 or 2 times in like the tournament history, like including like a couple of years ago, a 16 seed beat a 1 seed.
Sure.
That's like almost guaranteed. 215, nearly guaranteed. 314, nearly guaranteed.
Sure.
412 is where it starts to get spicy. I feel like there's a lot of 412s where you're like, could Rhode Island beat Michigan? I don't know. Like, you're like, I'm thinking they're sneaky. Like, it starts like, you just start to question yourself more and more. Like, you're on you're on like a 5-11 matchup and you're like, I've never heard of the University of Vermont, like the University of Vermont Concord, but gosh, they look good this year. Like, and you're just reading articles about them. Like, it's just ridiculous. So yeah, it's fun though. I think it's a great time of year. I think our work is putting one on that I've already made bold claims about, you know, my title going into this, which I think is the part. So we'll kind of see how that goes. Moving on, though, I wanted to talk about one more thing in my sports corner. I know we've done a few minutes on this, but Novak Djokovic, man, who I believe to be the greatest athlete of all time.
Sure.
And
I can see the argument. It's him or Joey Chestnut.
This guy. We'll save the Joey Chestnut love for another day. But Novak, man, I just love him. And he lost. Like, this is coming off a loss from him in his most recent tournament. But the guy is the oldest, at least that I know of, oldest player in the sport.
Sure.
And he's just out here moving crazy. He lost to the guy who won this tournament last time that it happened. And the guy's path is brutal. He has to beat like all of the top 5 players essentially to win this year, like to repeat. But he started by beating Novak, who's still like, I think he's like 4th or 5th right now in the world.
Sure.
And he's the oldest player in the sport. He's incredible. And if this guy, by the way, that just beat Novak does it, he'll have beaten 19 of the last 21 slam winners, which would be just an incredible accomplishment from this guy. But I just wanted to shout out Novak, man. Just 39 years old, moving crazy. He had a bad reputation for a long time that was not justified. He was just hated because of where he was from. Just crazy. Just wanted to shout him out quickly before we move on to our next segment.
Are you reading anything good right now?
Yeah, man. I'm on the 8th book of the series that I've been working on for a while. The 7th book was brutal. It was a brutal read, man. I think it took me 6 months because it was such a... So the series I'm reading is called Throne of Glass. It's like a very book talk kind of series, but it's interesting. It's kind of fantasy. I've got the book right here.
Really sexy. All the dudes are really buff in it.
Thickness. Yeah, it's like he walked in 6'6". His shirt could barely stay on his skin. It's ridiculous.
Okay,
but I mean, you can see the girthiness of this book. Even pause. But yeah, you go. But like it is, I believe, like the 6th highest rated book on all of Goodreads. This book is
really,
and
seriously,
yeah, dude. And it started off great. Like I said, it's the 8th book in the series. I'm like,
so like, give me the idea. Like, what's it about?
Yeah, so the main character, I don't want to say too much. Like, I guess I can. This book series came out forever ago. It was written by this girl named Sarah J. Maas, who was, I believe, 17 when she started writing this. Like, she was in high school.
Good for her.
And this is like her magnus opum series.
Magnum opus. We'll edit that out.
No, don't. I deserve the shape. Magnum opus.
Yeah,
am I saying it right now?
Yeah, okay. It's magnum opus.
I'm not even going to try. I'm too nervous to go back.
All right, I will say it. I'll say it for you. Just point at me and I'll say magnum opus and you'll move on.
It's her.
Magnum opus.
You are too late. Series. And so she's working on it. It's this huge thing. I believe what I heard was this 8th book, which again, let me show just the... of it, and
you gotta stop. Just you're setting yourself up to say girth. You could just say girth if you want to. That's fine.
I guess we can. That's a grounded word.
It's fine.
It's like a third of the reading of the whole series of the 8 books. Just a massive book.
Sure.
And it's like essentially like starting a war. But this story, getting back to that, is about like this assassin. Her name's Selena Sardothian, which is an incredible character name to think of as a 17-year-old. Yeah,
a 17-year-old timeout.
Gee, brother, she's a child. Yeah, let me finish. But like, as a 17-year-old author, for her to think of like a name that's so cool is incredible. There's some good ones too. Like another character who has like later on that you meet in the series, his name is Dorian Haviliard, which is just also just an excellent character name. But essentially, she's an assassin who is like an orphan that is now being raised by like the head of the Assassin's Guild. Is how the first book starts out. And magic has been banned across all of the land after like this war where the current king of the land led like a Targaryen style conquest over the land and just killed all of like the magic users they could find. A lot of them are in hiding or have ran away. And that's essentially kind of what the story is about, is kind of her journey through that world. I don't want to say too much if you were ever going to read it. It does get it does get very romantasy as you continue to go on.
Risque. Like, is it pretty graphic or is it just kind of like...
Oh, yeah, like... I mean...
we can just move on.
The book talk girls hold this in like close to the vest. It's a series for that. I'm liking it. I've enjoyed it. Like I said, I'm almost done through it, and then I'm gonna move on to this book called The Will of the Many, which is by James Islington,
Sure.
and it's supposed to be really interesting. It's more like high fantasy. I've heard it's a lot. It's not romancy in any way. It's more
No.
of like that. Have you read it? Have you heard of
Yeah,
it?
so I actually just had a conversation the other day with Derek about it, and so I had a couple extra credits on Audible. I actually picked it up. I'm getting ready to start it here very soon.
Oh shoot!
I'm trying to get
Yeah,
I'm
we'll
trying to
read
get
it
through
almost at the same time.
Oathbringer first. Yeah, I'm trying to get through the third book in Stormlight Archive right now. But anyway,
Yeah, man. Well, and I haven't read any Brandon Sanderson. I've heard it's incredible. I need to get to the cause
It-
here at some point.
it is. By the way, Brandon Sanderson, if you ever want to call on the podcast, open invitation. Please feel free. Just give us a call.
Please.
Yeah, big fan. We play Magic the Gathering or something. I've never played myself,
gosh.
but I'd
Nor
love to
have
play.
I, but I would be willing to learn. Yeah.
I'd buy a deck. Yeah. No, like it's good. It's a good book series. I like it so far, but like there are times when like the building action just kind of tends to drag on a little too long, and I just kind of
Yeah,
one
I've
of
heard
those ruts.
he's like hyper detail is like his thing.
And it is right. You can see the picture in your brain. It's excellent, but gosh dang.
Yeah.
Anyway, but you're going to talk about the Will of Many.
Yeah, dude. I've heard interesting things about it. I don't know what Derek told you, but essentially, like from what I understand, the power system, if you will, in the world is like will and like your willpower, and it gives
Yeah.
you like different attributes. But it's also like there's like a caste system. It sounds like.
Yeah, it sounds like there's the people on the bottom, like the Octavi, like in the 8th level, and they give power to the people at the 7th level, and the people at the 7th level are as strong as 7 plus 1 of people.
Yeah.
Something like that. Yeah.
And we're both just speaking so ill-informed right now.
Yeah,
People
which is
have
good.
never read it.
No spoilers here.
Yeah, we could be saying like nothing to do with the book. It
Yeah.
could be like that's not how it works out. But yeah, it has an incredibly high rating. It was one of the highest rated books of last year. So I'm interested to finally get to that after I finish this series and get into it. It'd be cool if we co-read it too, because we could definitely talk about it and
I'd be
kind
down.
of go through that as well. But
We have like a separate book club.
yeah. Shout out the book club.
Book club, follow us on Patreon. Just book club on Patreon.
How are you managing reading books? Because you're studying a language right now too, right?
Yeah, so I haven't so between sleep deprivation from a newborn and sick kid, so I've been doing a lot of audiobooks as I drive from place to place because we have the 4 funeral homes and the 4 towns and stuff, so I drive a lot. But recently it's been kind of tough, but I've also kind of picked up studying. So I'm studying to take an insurance exam so I can start selling insurance for the funeral home here. And then I also have been studying Japanese recently.
Yeah, man.
So I do speak, as you know this, but I'll say it here, English, my first language. I speak very decent Spanish. I feel very comfortable speaking Spanish. I would say that conversational is very, very conversational. I can say exactly what I want to say. People can understand me. If I get going a little bit, I would consider myself probably fluent. After not practicing for a while, many people who speak 2 languages understand, like, if you're not practicing, it's kind of hard to get back into it. Once I get back into it, I'm pretty fluent. I kind of set a goal this year. I wanted to learn another language, and I settled on Japanese just because I find it interesting, and I kind of wanted to learn one of those languages. So it was either I was going to learn Japanese or Chinese or Korean.
Well, we both talked about how we want to go to Japan.
Yeah.
That's kind of like our dream location to travel to.
Yeah. So eventually, one day we'll make it out to Japan. So that was kind of like a big motivator. So Korean was kind of ruled out pretty quick. And then Chinese was ruled out pretty quick because so it's a tonal language. So the way you say a word changes its meaning, whereas Japanese is more pitch based and it's very straightforward. Like, let me give it a little while. I'm going to give it a chance, try and study it. And now I don't want to upset anyone when I say this, like, it has been much, much easier to learn Japanese thus far than I originally thought it would be. It's still not easy, but it is much easier
than when you learned Spanish?
No, because Spanish, there's a lot of like Latin roots and stuff that I can go over with English, and they use the exact same alphabet. So Spanish was hard because it was my first language that I learned. So, my first learned language, my first foreign language, shall I say. So that was hard. But then it was a lot easier. Like, I feel like I could speak decently within 3 or 4 months of learning Spanish. Like, when I say decently, I mean like for a newbie, like I could say, tengo que ir al baño. ¿Dónde está el autobús? And like I could say stuff like to get around. Whereas in Japanese, it's going to take a lot longer to get there for sure. But again, it's hard, but it's a lot easier than one might think. Like I'm running through hiragana and katakana right now. So you have like hiragana, katakana, and kanji, and I apologize for the way it's pronounced. Again, I am still just learning.
Yeah, we know nothing. Yeah.
So like, it's kind of funny. So right now, my little brother really enjoys the Yakuza video games, and he's trying to get me into them. And I've started playing them, and I'm having a good time. I'm like, this might be a really good time.
Red flag. Big
red flag.
Yeah.
So they're actually pretty fun. And I'm like, this might be a good time to start learning Japanese because I'm exposing myself to so much of it now. Like it's being spoken in this game. So, and I'm playing it quite a decent amount. So this will be good language study. So you kind of have started to learn a little bit, and it is really fun. Like just having learned all of the hiragana and now getting into katakana before I get into kanji, which is the real kind of hurdle there, is learning all these different symbols, and there's thousands and thousands and thousands of them. But like I can go and look at the street signs, like, hey, I know what this street sign says. I don't know what it means, but I know that sign says Ichigo. And I can say, hey, that says Ichigo. I don't know what Ichigo means. I did look it up. I think it means strawberry. But like it's been pretty cool. Like it's been really eye-opening to me because when you look at these foreign languages, as a native English speaker in the United States, you look at these Asian languages and you're like, that is so daunting. There's no way I could ever learn that. But then you get into it and you're like, okay, this is hard, but this is totally manageable and it makes a ton of sense. That's been really interesting for me to see.
Yeah.
That's been really fascinating.
It almost sounds, so when I was around at school at college, we had like a really large Asian population in our school, like in the international ambassadors and such. It just sounds like they're using like a different part of like their mouth, or like it's coming from like a different part of their like throat when they're speaking. And it's it does almost seem like I would never be able to sound something like that. That's actually kind of reassuring that you're like finding success in it so easily.
Yeah, and I did do some research, and it might just be because I have learned a language. I know how to learn a language. Maybe I find it easier than people who were learning it as their first foreign language. That there is some truth to that. Like there's a lot of they're called glottal stops in
pause.
So
again, I don't
chill
know,
out.
But...
It's called the glottal. That's the literal word for it. Look it up. But like, so like, and you know, down in Utah, people say mountain or like button instead of saying button. They say button. That like where you stop in the back of your throat. Pause is where that's what a glottal stop is. So you say "ie," and so like instead of saying "ie," you say "ie," and the glottal stop at the back of your throat. So that is different. It's working different muscles of the mouth. It's kind of feels like Spanish is really kind of tip of the tongue and the teeth and the lips, and Japanese kind of feels like it's like the middle of the mouth, and English feels kind of more back and middle. Japanese
I'm learning
feels
that
more
a conversation about how words sound is the most suspicious thing that you could ever
This is getting
mild.
Into. This is mildly sexual for people who just joined.
I keep wincing as you're speaking. That's just...
Pause. They'll just edit that in there. Pause. No, yeah. So like it has been really fun, and I'm really excited to keep learning. I hope that I can keep the momentum going, because I feel like a lot of times learning a new language is very hard. And I had the benefit of when I learned Spanish, I was dropped in a place where I had to use it. So I used it that way. I wonder how it'll go now that I have to, like be interested to, I think when I get to the point where I can speak decently, I get the grammar down and more words and kanji learned and stuff like that. I'd like to hire probably a tutor with the sole purpose of just having a conversation with them twice a week for like 30 minutes each time.
I think it's so good to learn a language too. Like my dad was trilingual when I was growing up, and like, it didn't teach anything to any of us. So it almost to me felt like, oh, the guy knows 3 freaking languages and he doesn't even use 2 of them. Like he only ever speaks in.
Yeah.
I guess he spoke in Spanish to like my grandpa sometimes, but like other than that, like he also knows Tagalog, and he was never really using it in general. But if you're unless you're a traveler, like you're really not going to use a ton of it and whatnot. So yeah, I think that's sick though, because with our goal to go to Japan, I mean, being able to converse locally would be incredible. Like and just feel, I feel like you'd feel more immersed as well if you could just understand street signs and speak it. And I imagine a lot of people speak English, and a lot of signs are in English.
They do,
anyway,
and there's so many translation apps that people use all the time. You can get around. Like I think realistically, by the end of this year, so there's levels to how well you speak Spanish. It's like N5, N4, N3, N2, N1. N5 is like you're kind of barely getting a hold of the language. 1 is you are able to debate highly like exactly like scientific topics. You know all of the words you need to say, kind of thing. I think I would like to get up to N3, and I'll probably stop around there because I don't think I'll ever need to know how to debate complex topics. Like maybe high end of N3, low end of N2, perhaps, is where I'd be shooting for.
Just before your Japanese political career, and then you're just stopping.
Yeah, no, yeah. Shout out Japanese politics. Yeah, I would never want to do that because I'd have to live in Japan for 5 years and renounce my American citizenship, which would no bueno. No, not a fan.
I feel like that's a tough citizenship to lose. You know, if I'm renouncing my Madagascarian, whatever it may be,
I'm pretty sure you can have dual citizenship there. I think.
Madagascarese, I don't know what they say, but if I'm renouncing that citizenship, I feel less bad, you know, if I have to move over. But I as Americans too, I feel like we're just more like, I just love being a good old red-blooded American, you know?
Like our passport, like the American passport is so strong. Like you can get into so many countries from here. Like, you know, as we grew up here, this is where all our family is. Like we wouldn't want to, like, you know, go in there and then become like a permanent resident. Let's say like, I send you those TikToks all the time, like and you send them to me all the time of like those houses in Japan. They're like, there's like a 16-bedroom house for like $79,000. I'm like, what is stopping us? Let's just head over there.
Yeah, seriously. And it's like, I look for homes down the street, and it's like, well, this 2-bedroom, 1.5 bath shack will cost you 8 bands, and you're like, well.
For $8,000? Yeah, you should buy a house for $8,000.
Is bands not I don't know what I said, but
bands is
$800,000 is what I meant.
So 800 bands, right?
There you go.
This is what you said.
That's what they come for, yeah. But all right, I'm really excited. You told me earlier today you had some saved would you rather's for me. You told me nothing about them. You were very close to the vest with that information. So hit me. What is this mysterious would you rather you had for
We're going in blind here. So first one is a classic. Would you rather look like Jar Jar Binks or talk like Jar Jar Binks? No, you may not. Option 3.
This is almost impossible. And you're talking to one of the biggest Star Wars fans. Let's weigh this here. If I talk like Jar Jar Binks, my job getting ability is in the trash. I feel like I'd have to start a voice acting career and really sell myself.
You're only Jar Jar Binks.
Really sell myself as valuable would be like my first play. Now, is my love life, I just feel like they can only take so much. Like, it's like a bit at first, and then eventually it's like, Misa Hungary, and they're like, shut up! Shut up! Like, stop! Yeah, like, I just feel like there's only so much you can do.
Well, looking like I think
Jar
about
Jar Binks.
Like the scenario, like you're going in for like, you know, you give your wife a kiss, and you're like, hey, you know, what are you doing right now? Like, you're trying to get in the mood, and you're saying it all like, Misa, love you. Me, like, all right, dude, we're done. We can't do this.
It's just no temperatures getting raised around a voice like that. That's just not happening. Like, it's not. The other thing with looking like Jar Jar Binks, though, and I'm looking at this like I grew up this way. I can't think of someone who'd get more bullied than someone that looked like Jar Jar Binks. You got those big old ears. You look like you should be ridden. You know, like it's just
plus.
But like,
jeez,
looks like you look like an animal, you know. Like, again, I'm sorry, but like, you just look, you look saddleable, and it's just sad.
I'm saying you're just making it worse. Saddleable.
That which isn't a word, but it is
now.
That I just think that's tougher. I don't know. As I'm thinking about it more, like if I can pitch myself as like a really mild mannered. He only speaks when he has to. He's very suave. He's very successful with his voice acting career. He's made millions by niching this one voice as like Blob number 6 in certain roles, you know. And I'm just like, I can't do it, Jar Jar Binks, but like that's a bad Jar Jar Binks. But
that was the best Jar Jar impression I've ever heard. Why don't you give the people another one? They want it.
My VTube career is going to be taking off, but yeah, I do think talking now that like as I'm critically thinking through it, talking's got to be the better option, right?
I mean, like my whole thing is like if you were to look like him, like
you're unlovable, and I think that's insensitive, but you are. I think you're unlovable.
I'm sure you could find love. There's got to be someone out there. I think like the government's just going to try to experiment on you. Like, how are his eye stalks out like that? What's going
the
on?
Furry, you're the LeBron James of the furry community. If you look like Jar Jar Binks, like you, I feel like you're their crown prince though. In that community, like if you do. So I guess there's really like you're pigeonholing yourself into a very specific niche if you're gonna be going either direction. I'm leading talk, and I'm giving everything into a voice acting career. Is my option that I'm gonna go with.
Like, here's my, so like if I were to pick, I'd probably go talk like, because like,
yeah,
I can just shut up. I can just act like I'm deaf and learn sign language.
I've got a question though that this might even change my answer. Have we heard a Jar Jar laugh? Because if someone says something like funny and I laugh like an absolute psychopath, I think I'm gonna have to become a hermit. Like, does he laugh like yoo-hoo, yoo-hoo, yoo-hoo? Like, and that's very Mario of me what I'm doing right now. But like, it could be like very off-putting. I feel like, you know. So
that's uncomfortable. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm going talk. I'm not changing my mind, but talk it is.
I feel like, in my opinion, talk is the clear answer. But let us know in the comments what you guys think.
Yeah, seriously. If you guys have strong opinions, is there something we're overlooking as people that aren't as deeply versed, clearly, on Jar Jar as I did a Mario impersonation of the laugh? Please give us more insight into thoughts. But you had another one, right? You were telling me you had a couple of these stocked up. So when we moved past Jar Jar, I think we both agreed on talk. Hit me with this second scenario that you have.
All right.
Here.
So how do you feel about the band ABBA?
Like, we're talking like Dancing Queen.
Dancing Queen,
right?
ABBA, yeah.
I mean, I included in my cardiac rehab playlist, so I hear ABBA frequently.
And they're all-timers. So here's the question.
Yeah, okay.
You can either only ever listen to ABBA, but ABBA sings all the songs you want. So you want to listen to like Sicko Mode, ABBA singing Sicko Mode. Every song ever is sung by ABBA, and to everyone else it sounds horrible, but to you it sounds like it's ABBA. Or you can listen to other artists, but they only sing ABBA covers.
Wow, I wish you would have picked someone else. I will.
That's what I'm saying.
I'll entertain this. Wow. Do you have like, I'm just not that like musically inclined in terms of like history. Like, what's another ABBA song? The only thing I can think of is Dancing Queen.
So Dancing Queen's their banger. Dude, I love ABBA. I cannot think of any of their songs right now. This is gonna kill me.
Really? I was to say, is there another? I mean, I'm gonna get crushed.
Yeah. So gimme. That's incredible. I Have a Dream. Money.
Give me a Man After Midnight. That's ABBA.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I've heard it. Yeah. I've heard that one. Money. I don't know if I know that one.
Yeah. Where we at? Chill out. I promise we love ABBA. I promise. Please don't be upset with us.
I think you can stop looking. I think that gives me enough. I don't know about you. I think I'm leaning. I would rather have other artists just cover ABBA songs, because I think that would give you the most variety. Even though you're hearing similar lyrics, some might be faster or slower. If it's like, hey, I'm in a Drake mood, for example, like, what does Drake do? How does he Hotline Bling an ABBA song?
That'd be crazy. The mashup, I can see the potential there. That's crazy.
Yeah. I feel like you're getting a lot more variety that way. I just don't think I could listen to just the same voice eternally. And she's singing any song, and I'm like, ABBA, I'm in a big JB mood. Hit me with Baby by JB. And I feel like it would ruin songs. Certain songs would be ruined if that was the case.
Right. And again, I'll have to agree with you on this one. I feel like that's a pretty clear winner.
I actually did bring one.
Okay.
Just as a response. I don't think it's as good as yours, but I really appreciate like early 2000s music. I don't know where you stand on this. So I've got an interesting like 2010s themed Would You Rather. So the question is, would you rather be able to go back and experience like an iconic 2010s moment? I mean, this is including 2016, which a lot of people reference as the greatest year of all of our lives. Like a 2010s, what was it? Any year from the 2010s, we're talking 10 through 19. You get to dab any year there and go back and experience a moment from any of those. Or would you rather revive a 2010s social media app like Vine or Tumblr or original Instagram? Like, would you bring back an app from the 2010s that you, or like Flappy Bird even, like, I think that went in the 2010s. Like, is there an app you'd revive, or would you go back to a moment and experience it again?
Right. That's a good question. That is a good question. Because Vine, dude, there were some bangers on Vine, dude. Every now and then you'll catch me like once every 8 months.
There was Vines that people were like downloading to their camera roll to show you like once a week, like, don't you remember? And like and they would just proc you again.
Work ahead.
Yeah,
I sure hope it does.
Like that's just in our heads forever, you know,
for eternally. Yeah, you'll find all these people like in the nursing home in their 90s. They're like,
yeah,
sure hope it does.
Yeah, dude. I loved the spirit of Vine too. That it was like you get what was it like 9 seconds? What
7? It was 7 or 6 seconds even. I think
you get whatever it was. You get X amount of seconds, like less than 10 seconds to be engaging and get my like. And that's all you get. Where like some TikToks now are like literally like 10 minutes long.
Brother,
super long.
Some guy had posted the entire movie of Shrek on TikTok the other day. And I was like, there's no way. I was skipping through it. I'm like, this is the entire movie of Shrek. This is crazy.
My gosh. Yeah, like which on Vine, it's like it was just boom, boom, boom. Which I mean, was that great for our brains? I can almost assure you, like, just 7-second hits of little things probably wasn't the best, but it was a time to be alive. I loved original Instagram. I don't know if you were a big OG Instagram guy, but it just used to show you, like, these are what all your followers are doing, and, like, only would show you your followers rather than, like, all these ads and stuff. I loved that. Like, it was a great way to keep up with friends. It felt like a true social media app as well. But then again, man, there's some 2010s moments that are partial to my life, like that I would go back.
Like thinking like the first time, you know, when I got my license, the first time I ever drove alone, that was like such a core memory. That was like a peaceful like.
Yeah,
I'll tell you what I would go back to. You remember, this is before we graduated. Every night one summer we played Destiny until like 3 a.m. I would do that. That's my answer. I'm locking that in. That was so much fun. That was like I just remember that being so fun.
Probably some of the worst decision making that had ever been made.
Dude, I was on call too. Like if somebody died in the middle of the night and I was up, dude, I might have fallen asleep at the wheel. Like if somebody died over 60 miles away. Like, okay, well I got to go get him. But up in North Montana, there's no one else to go get him, so I'd have to drive. And it's like so sleep deprived.
We're sitting there like, we'll wait for you. Come on back. We'll still be on. That was truly horrific decision making by our whole collective that was planned. But yeah, best of times and worst of times.
Best of times and worst of times.
Yeah, like
or our For Honor phase. For Honor was so excellent.
Like I think that one's reversed. I think that's worst of times, and then some of the highest highs.
Some of the highest highs
ever had.
Like Destiny was like consistently pretty high, whereas For Honor was like I never want to look at another person again. I don't want to ever see the light of day ever again. To this, I will never beat this high. I think mainly I'd want to go back to.
After a For Honor game, I feel like I was like hot to the touch. Like I was so like I was
win or lose.
So like after a game, like it took everything out of you to like get into a game of like, are you better than me? Am I better than you? And I think it was genuinely bad for our mental health.
It's one of those things like you don't realize what you have until it's gone.
Yeah, you take for granted that your mom's making you dinner every night.
Yeah.
You got no curfew. It's summer.
You're not paying rent.
You're not paying rent. You're billless. You're chilling. You're making big steps. Maybe you're looking for a girlfriend. You're looking to drive, especially like that. Yeah, especially Montana. Like you could make some big leaps. Like at 14, we're getting our driver's license, and it's like the road is mine now. You know, like,
and your parents are like, there's literally nobody on the road ever, so they could just drive. Go for it.
Here's the keys, get loose. You're like, all right. Yeah, I think I'd go back as well. I would probably go back to like 2012-ish era, and it would be the summers I was spending on the blacktop just playing ball were just
Yeah.
incredible.
Yeah.
I felt like I and I don't know if it's like a pro global warming take I'm about to make here, but I just felt like the weather in summers used to like matter, and now it
Yeah.
really doesn't. But it was like, all right, we're getting 3 months of bliss here, and it was just ideal all the time.
All the time.
And you know, living where I do now, I don't miss the mosquitoes because you were like smacking blood spurts.
Like
You're
you
just
were
out there
shooting like
balling.
you could shoot straight Agent Orange at those things and they still don't die. Like you can't get them.
Dude. They must have been GMO mosquitoes up there, like just testing them on the population.
They have to be. They're like, we're going to use these if we ever get into a war in Vietnam again. We're going to genetically modify these. We got to test them.
I'll stop you there.
Shout out Vietnam.
Yeah,
if you're from Vietnam, you want to come on the podcast.
Oh, yeah, just the collective of Vietnam.
Just open invitation from Vietnam. Just let us know. You can come on the podcast.
I don't know if we can say that. Isn't the official name of Vietnam like the communist something of Vietnam?
I don't know. Let me check.
I'm almost certain that the official title of the country of Vietnam is like the communist something of Vietnam.
It's the Socialist Republic of Vietnam, but like,
yeah, I guess that's fine. Europe's socialist, so we're chilling.
Yeah, they just say Vietnam, and they just know.
Yeah,
it says, yeah, formal name is the Socialist Republic of Vietnam. Short form name is just Vietnam.
Vietnam, yeah. So chilling. All right, brother. I think let's just call it there. Let's call it out.
Yeah, man.
Thanks for listening today. I know we gotta get out of here. Remember, please like, share, subscribe to the pod. It means nothing to you. It means everything to us. Thanks for tuning into the first episode of The Other Room. Peace out. Cut.
Cut.
Just didn't say anything. You bastard. You bastard.